Yeah, don't mind me. I'm trying to do this thing called multitasking while I record this episode as far as watching and appreciate it finally with both hands in plain sight. Don't get it twisted. This Latto and Ice Spice video that just dropped as I'm recording now, GATT or GYATT, excuse me, I gotta put the emphasis on it so the kids know what I'm talking about today with the modern day lingo, which, GATT I do appreciate because both of them got the GYATT going crazy, GYATT versus GYATT. As far as who wins, we all win. Us male viewing audience participants, we all win watching this video, which is rather short, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I feel we're getting robbed a bit as far as how short the video is, but also, if you think about it too, I come from a time when music videos were like the go-to as far as like a song will come out and then you wait some months, not weeks, not days like they do nowadays, or sometimes now they do the song and the video releasing same day, which I think is, makes sense. But we used to have to wait for the song to have its video come out and see if the song was popular enough to merit a video. And then some months later we get it, like with the Thong song I remember from Cisco. Shout out to Cisco. He had all the ass parading on the beach for the Thong Song music video for the first one, and then there was a remix with Foxy Brown on it. Shouts to Foxy Brown. Was she the one on the back of the bike, or was she the one driving the bike and Cisco's on the back? I can't remember right now. I don't feel like looking up the Thong Song remix video for that shit. But she looked great in the remix video. I believe Melissa Ford, shoutouts to her, another legendary GYATT, and still holding on to that GYATT. At 50 something, I think, or is she almost 50? I forget right now. I don't feel like looking it up right now. She's looking as fine as fuck in that remix video to the Thong Song remix. Good old times. But basically the point I'm making is you had to sit through the video to appreciate the song if you like the song, which I don't mind the Thong Song, but it's not like a timeless classic. It's more, for me at least, directly related to memories of just locking in, lockjawed while watching the music video. But through the music video, you'd have the obligatory spliced in Cisco dancing and wow, as he used to fucking do and shit, right? But you sit through patiently and record it because we had this old aging technology called a VHS or the VCR that played the VHSs. You hit record on that thing when it came on NTV, or if you knew like some of the countdown shows like TRL and shit, you'd vote for the Thong Song to play so you have enough time to queue up the video right at the moment when it's playing, so you can record it and record the full video. But then sometimes TRL would do you dirty if they were running over on time, meaning they were running out of time in their allotted time slot. Live TV, this is like, the woes of way back when. They would cut the video short or just play half of it, and they wouldn't even play the good half, when like all the bitches are in the thongs on the beach and getting sandy cheeks and all that. Shouts to SpongeBob. But you had to sit through the video basically to get the best ass shots or highlights of the bitches parading around in close to nothing, very skimpy with sandy cheeks and sandy tits on the beach for the Thong Song. And then the Thong Song remix video, if I'm remembering correctly. How can I not forget, Melissa Ford, of course, and Foxy Brown too, as I made emphasis before of, both looking good. But I think they had a runaway model show at the end. Was Melissa Ford the one riding the bike? Shouts to Melissa Ford if she could ride a bike. Not a bicycle, but I mean like a motorbike. Like, them joints, But not the Harley Davidsons. I don't really, not that I don't respect Harley Davidson riders, but the more I see them up here now in Buffalo, the more I see the ones that, are of a certain age, of a certain, demographic, white and fat and long beards and always got the shades on and the bandanas. And I appreciate the ones that have the bandanas underneath the helmets in plain sight, but then they're the ones riding around that just got the bandanas on. So it makes you think, well, if you need a helmet to ride a bicycle, why not have one for a big-ass motorcycle as a chopper, as they call them, I think, a Harley Davidson like that, right? But I don't respect the Harley Davidson riders, the ones that got, I wouldn't mind the high-ass handlebars, way up here, that make it look like you're trying to make everybody sniff your pits, pretty much, right? Catch a quick whiff. But the ones I don't respect are the ones that got the extra wide, body, or the ones that got, the, I don't know what they're called, but the ones that got, the extra set of wheels in the back, extra wide, extra fat ass in the back. So it's it's impossible to fall, but they're so wide and out there, why not just get a car? Why not just get a fucking Fiat? or like a Mini Cooper, something like that. Which I don't respect those cars either. And no, the ones I don't respect are the smart cars because they're ridiculous. They're compact. They're the type of like compact, almost nothing of a car, so much waste of an engine pretty much in four wheels, where if I get upset enough, I could tip that thing over one-handed. Forget two, I don't even need that. And this is with sciatica and just getting old, that everything encompasses with getting old, it comes with the whole fucking package bundle deal, right? I could still do that shit easily if ticked off enough. There used to be a smart car parked like down the block from where I used to live in Queens, out in Rego Park. The motherfucker never took it out nowhere, if they even took it out grocery shopping, which the thing is super inconvenient to grocery shop with because you barely got space for one normal sized adult, as in me. I'm not the biggest guy either, but I would have fit just right in the middle of the seat where the steering wheel is off to the... We drive on the left here, right, in the States, right? Yeah, just to make sure. In Europe, you're on the right. It's more to the left here in the States. The steering wheel is off a little to the side, enough where I gotta like kind of lean in a little bit. Not good for sciatica. And if I wanted to like go grocery shopping, I'd probably fit like one bag on the side of me in the car. I don't know. I never fully examined a smart car to see if they got trunk space or front space like that. But this motherfucker got an old one for the longest time. Never fucking drove it. I maybe seen it once on the road with that motherfucker, and I didn't get a good glimpse of who it was, a male, female, whatever, right? But universally, they will be labeled as a cunt because they had a nerve of getting tired, I guess, supposedly, of said smart car. Not so smart because of how fucking compact and nothing it is. They had the nerve to put that shit up for sale, a used one. Fairly used, too. Not that new, not like all glimmery and shiny like a brand new off the lot smart car would be, used for $10,000 of all fucking things. I couldn't believe it when I saw that fucking for sale sign because I looked just out of curiosity to peek at it, because they never do the thing like they always say for sale but text me about the prices and shit, right? At least they had the decency to put up the price, but it was such an offensive price for such a fucking nothing vehicle. $10,000 for fucking nothing. Like, my bed is probably longer than that fucking smart car was. And some space in the back to afford it too. So mind that, right? But, whatever. That's just what it is. And now through the magic of editing, what has happened to my beard? Well, I had to record on a whole different day and time for this next part. Because speaking of GYATTs, which I don't necessarily have, and I'd appreciate if you don't look at me that way as a piece of meat, as an object, I would appreciate it if you were a trained medical professional as far as being able to strap up the gloves and stick it on back there as I had done to me, I want to say 6-something years ago. It was right before the pandemic took over the world, basically, which I'm not applauding that. I am applauding the efforts, the trials and tribulations of a proctologist who has to be a trained medical professional in that field, specifically enough to look literally up your ass or at your ass or in your ass, Betty had said, to know what's going on with said ass, as was the case with me, again, I want to say like 6 years ago or so, right before the pandemic happened. So I went off the moral obligation aspect only. Well, my girlfriend, now fiance, forced me, strong-armed me into going to the proctologist because I had mentioned, oh, you know what? I think I got a hemorrhoid for the first time in my life ever, because basically I was at that point when I was shitting, the logs of shit coming out of me, and pardon me for being so descriptive, but just so you get the idea and the purpose of me having to go to a proctologist, the ass doctor, Betty had said, the GYATT specialist, the ass doctor, the proctologist, to be respectful of them, professionally speaking. Whenever I was shitting, the logs that were coming out were getting cut through the middle, or coming out like kind of lopsided, or a little bit of an edge taken off of them, literally. So it was kind of like, I would say like when you take a slab of meat and you put it through a deli slicer. Shout out to the butchers out there, and the deli workers out there too, of course. Kind of like that. It came out like uneven, lopsided, I mean, what piece of shit literally comes out perfect, right? You know what I mean? But I noticed that. And then basically, in a nutshell, because I think I told the story right before. So when I went to the proctologist finally, out of my fiance forcing me to do so, basically making me go, he had his fingers in my ass, unfortunately, in pause, of course, to confirm what I knew already. What I had was a hemorrhoid, which I never had in my life, but it wasn't the worst thing ever because basically it came down to just saying, hey, don't worry, bro, you're good. After I've, manually inserted myself inside of you to confirm what you have already, a hemorrhoid, just basically take this cream, preparation H, rub it on that thing. A week or two later from now should be ancient history. But the only gem, and I appreciate him being honest enough to be real with me like that, and bro to bro kind of talk. He did ask me, oh, do you sit long times on the toilet? It's like, yeah, that's my only escape. That's my kind of girlfriend or permanent female companion in my life. Yeah, that's my only escape, my only time to like kind of scroll, peacefully through Instagram, wink, wink, and whatever else comes to mind too. It's like, yeah, you got to cut down that time because you sitting so long on the toilet, and this is for you out there too, who might be guilty of doing so. Not like it's a bad thing, but we're guilty in the sense of we all do it, us guys. Don't sit on the toilet too long, or cut down the time of which you spend sitting on the toilet, because that will cause hemorrhoids. That will cause the flare-ups back there in your asshole. So take it from me. I got it, firsthand from the doctor. He told me that. He was kind enough to tell me so. He could have been some other scumbag insurance fiend hound like that, claim-wise, and be like, oh, I don't know what's going on here to be exact, but you know what? Come back in 2 weeks and let me stick my fingers back up your ass again and rub around a little bit to make sure, we're not missing something we didn't see the first time. We didn't feel up the first time, basically. No, he was cool enough, and shout out to him. I forget his name completely, but this is the same proctologist office that no follow-up was scheduled. It was apparently the front office wanting to like file a claim on behalf of the doctor, because the doctor was like clearly, no, you're good, just slap preparation H on it, you're good, I don't got to see you again. Basically, it's like, thank God I never have to see you again either, sir, because I would shake your hand, but then you were just fully inside me, 2 fingers deep. So I think we're more than properly introduced to each other that we ever need to be in our lives. I think you locked eyes too with me before doing so. So I might feel a certain way, but I'm gonna let it slide, just like you did. Pause. No pun intended. For the sake of you being a professional, doing your job, and being inside me to confirm what I knew already. But it was the doctor's office, the front desk staff, who assumed I needed a follow-up appointment, which the doctor did not say at all. Again, he said, you're good. Slap on preparation H on that thing, you should be good in a couple of weeks. They assumed, they booked me for an appointment. I said, you know what, I don't need one, and I think I made it clear I don't need one. I didn't say I think or maybe. I said, no, I'm good. He said, I'm good, I don't need to book one. It's like, oh, we'll just place hold an appointment for you for, I think they gave me like 3 weeks after. They do that. They send me a reminder email 3 weeks after. No, close to 3 weeks after, 2 weeks, 1 week leading into what would have been a follow-up appointment that I did not need. I went. Sorry, I didn't go. I went on the site, and I guess I saw it was booked, and I just canceled it days before. Next thing you know, about a week later, I get this, not an invoice, thank God, because I would have fucking sued the shit out of them, but in like a reminder, some sort of informal notice of them saying, oh, bad, patient, you're now no longer welcome to be here because you canceled, I guess, but I canceled way ahead of time. But I don't know what the fucking policy was. I don't know what the fucking deal was. They really wanted me to come back that badly. I don't know, maybe one of those fucking front desk hoes needed a new Birkin bag or something like that. But they weren't going to get it out of me, no way. Because if I didn't need to, and I was already sticking to the preparation H, up my ass on the hemorrhoid to take care of that shit, well, fine. But here's the funny part. They send me, of all things, about days before my birthday, which I'm doing this now when I record this, and happy birthday to me, 40th, by the way, a 40-year hole, if anything, as I must emphasize with this. They send me a courtesy email as a friendly reminder, hey, it might be time for you to schedule, of all things, a colonoscopy screening. You motherfuckers. you have the balls, you have, or in this case, it's a female, you have the loose clit lips to send me a fucking nasty little email with an attachment saying I was a bad patient and I'm no longer welcome there after you said I wasn't welcome there in writing, in an attachment in the email. Okay, great. I'm not going to be there because I don't need to go back there. All right, too bad for you. I'm sorry. You can't process a claim through me or my info to my insurance at the time. Okay, only for years later now, knowing that I'm inching towards 40, days shy of turning 40, now you want to suggest that my ass is so old at 40, at the tender age of 40, that I need now to have a colonoscopy screening when I think medically advised it's 50 for males. I forget if it's younger or older for females. I don't know, to be honest. I can't keep track of my asshole like that. But I think they're trying to bump it down to 45 and or 40 for those that have like family medical history of like ass cancer, basically. Shout out to all those that have survived ass cancer, colon cancer, to be more appropriate, of course. But you know what I mean. When you know you got cancer growing in your hole back there. God forbid you ever have to deal with it. I don't have anybody in my family that has, so I don't need it at 40. I might come around, consider it at 45 to make sure it's fully covered, of course, because trust me, as someone that works in health insurance, claim-wise, you want to be on top of that to make sure that hole doesn't become a financial pothole as far as them trying to ding your credit score at your own expense. Meanwhile, they're the ones trying to encourage you, oh, you know, you should be covered, or, you know what, I might double check with your insurance to be sure, but let's just do it anyway. We'll submit the claim, it'll get cleared, and then the next thing you know, you don't got nothing to pay for, but the next thing you know, not only do you have an explanation of benefits from your company telling you that you owe something, but then they got the bill sent your way to reaffirm you owe them not just something, but a whole lot of something. No pun intended, of course. But the nerve, the fucking gall, to send me that fucking reminder of all things. Hey, you're old, so was your hold, 40 to be exact. So now it's time to go get it checked with a little camera, tube up your asshole, you know, rummaging around, making sure this and that and the other. Give me a rim job, basically. No thanks, please. Leave me out of it. I've had enough experience to do with the ass doctor one time in my 30s. I'll go back when I'm 45, if anything. I promise I will. I promise I will. My diet's pretty clean. My hole's good. I make sure to wipe thoroughly back there with baby wipes. And then one last little dab with a little bit of wetted up toilet paper. So yeah, just take care of your hole and you should be good. You take care of your hole will take care of you in return. I'm Who This, at Who This Is One on all the socials, at Who This Is One's a tag on all the socials, as well as YouTube and Twitch, where I stream, where I do live shit, where I do the typical YouTube shit as well. The video version of the podcast will be up always on YouTube. The audio version, wherever you get your podcast from. I appreciate you taking the time to hear me out about my hole of all things, my implied GYATT. It's nowhere near as big as Ice Spice and or Latto's, thank God, because that's a lot of ass to maintain, and I can't even imagine. Listen, I'll close with this. As much as I, and I'm sure you do out there, whatever you're into, male, female, whatever, as much as we're into the GYATTs, the well-sculpted, hopefully all-natural GYATTs out there, I always tend to think it's great to have an ass that big and juicy and voluptuous in your hands, one cheek in each hand, of course, right? Jiggling like that. But then what happens when you try to commit to spending the rest of your life with said GYATT and they're farting up a storm to maintain that ass? It's protein, it's working out, it's, you know, creatine and all that shit, the concoction that goes into the stomachs, bubbling up the guts. Farts alone might be whatever tolerable. It might be even, dare I say, cute when it comes out of Latto with her, like, each cheek jiggling in rhythm with the fart. But then when she got a shit and all that shit got to come out that ass, it's a long trip for that ass because that's a lot of ass to travel. I'm just saying. Then you got to reconsider that. And then what about the smell? I'm not saying her ass smells as in bad BBLs would, but more so what comes out of her to maintain the size and proportions of the GYATT. Yeah, that's a lot to think of. And especially Ice Spice, she's young. She probably loves Takis and all the bullshit that we don't need to be eating that might cause cancer once we barely sniff into our 50s. I don't know. I'm Who This again. I'm out of here. Thanks for hearing about my hole. Appreciate you. Catch you next time.
Hey, someone just came up to me and told me that you like disrespectful Latinas. Is that true? Go fuck yourself.
I saw this coming, and my God, I jumped on it with both hands and been holding on.
My ass! My ass!
When I think of asses, woman's ass, something comes out of me.
I don't eat ice, I kick ice! You stupid ice!
You cannot give up yet. You did not let me or my fat ass down, okay?
Yo, it's over. Alright, it's over. It's over. Move the mic. Move the mic.
Thank you!
Alright.